biggest race we have all year long.
The icons of this sport have all starred on its biggest stage.
It's the great American race. Trust me.
Pull them belts tight one last time, boys. Light the fire.
Big push coming now for Harvick. Oh, and around goes a couple guns. Preece upside down. He's barrel rolling through the grass.
You got plenty of money. Don't need that to keep racing. Is it worth the risk to keep on going?
Win.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Bump and Run podcast. I'm your host, Michael D. White, joined by one of my best friends, Matt the Statman, Reilly. Everyone else has it off today. Robbie Schrader thought Dovin was coming back this week, and then Dovin still has darts this week. So Shrey made some dinner plans, but me and Matt bringing in the NASCAR action. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys had yourselves a Josh Berry 21 type of weekend, getting his first Cup Series win and win number 101 for the Wood Brothers. I wish they made a bigger deal about win number 101 because honestly, Harrison Burton didn't deserve all that praise at Daytona last year. I'll say it. It should have been Josh. Hope you had a great weekend. Tell all your friends. But Matt, how are you feeling after this weekend? Your boy Martin. Well, first of all, you finally ditched Chase Elliott last year, accepted your true fate that your boy Martin Truex Jr. was actually your driver. He retired, and then you had Rhodes, you had SVG, Josh Berry. You're following both of them for years now. How are you feeling as a new Josh Berry fan?
I love it, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't know, just being open and honest, I didn't know if I was going to see a win between my two drivers this year at all, and it's just like, I got to accept that because like, those are the two guys that like, I genuinely like you said, being junior motorsports guy my whole life, just drawn to the whole Josh Berry story and love everything about that. So I love Josh, and it was just a natural fit for me to just kind of pick him right up, once Marty retired. But also the whole SVG thing where SVG had a good rub on us where our biggest viewed episodes is when SVG has won. Oh yeah. And so, the personal side of things, because of that, all of us kind of really fall in love with SVG. And especially now that he's in the 88 with Junior, just the ties with that. So like I really got my two guys in Josh and SVG. And I just didn't know if I was maybe a road win with SVG this year, maybe Chicago, not sure, maybe Mexico, don't know,
Yeah. And
then with Josh, it's like, well, I know the talent's there, but we've seen what that 21 car has done the past few years. But also, if you're a frequent listener of ours, you know that we've been banging the drum of like, hey, Harrison Burton isn't good. Like he's not good. He's not talented. He's not Cup level talented.
Nah, he was barely Xfinity Series level talented, in my opinion. I know he has a handful of wins, but it took him a long time, and it was in a Gibbs car,
Correct. And we saw like a few years ago, I know it's kind of a different time now, but like a few years ago, like Matt DiBenedetto was doing some pretty decent things in the 21 car.
Yeah.
So like it was just hard to tell, like knowing that Josh is talented, he's a wheelman, it was hard to kind of gauge what kind of year we were going to get out of him. And to see the way he started, and then now to just in the fifth race of the season for him to get the win, I totally forgot throughout all the chaos of him winning the race. Like, oh yeah, shit. The one thing that I hate, the winning in.
Yeah.
Hey, he's
in the playoffs.
I still disagree with it. Not just, I'm not going to sit here and be like, that's awesome just because my guy clinched a spot 5 weeks into the year.
Yeah.
Like, I still
Feels
hate
good,
that
though.
rule, but like, hey, whatever, like he's in. So like, it's just cool to kind of, he's not going to have to be that bubble guy that I'm following all regular season long kind of deal. It's not going to be that kind of grind. Now SVG, hopefully he can work his way up to that point. If not, just go ahead and win a race. But so anyway, I just super excited. And I'm sure it's killing Shrey to not be on here because he's also a Josh Berry fan. So I know he probably echoes everything that I'm kind of saying as far as just being so pumped that Josh got that win. It's got to be. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but it's got to be one of the more popular wins this sport's seen in a long time.
I think so, especially with the junior connection, Wood Brothers connection to. I just want to get this out before I forget. I would be doing our good friend Robbie Shredder Shrey a disservice, Shikshinny Ricky, if I did not bring up Berry Bombs, because I think he was on the Pocono episode last year because you were on vacation. I think we were talking about Berry Bombs, but maybe we weren't. But I forget what liquor is in it, but it's basically those little tiny Sunny D. You drink a little bit of it, you put a shot in there. We were drinking those on Sunday at Pocono in the grandstands and having a good old time. And the first thing that I remember Shrey saying on Sunday after Josh Berry won, he had that Sunny D water bottle in his hand. He goes, "Oh, I bet you there's a Berry Bomb in there." So if you ever want to celebrate a Josh Berry win, put a little liquor in a Sunny D, shake it up, and have yourself a Berry Bomb.
The problem is Sunny D bottles aren't all that big, right? So if you put a shot of booze in there,
yeah. I think
it's not like you're pouring a shot of booze into a 16-ounce glass. It's you're pouring a shot of booze into like an 8-ounce drink or whatever it is. And
I tell you what, the Sunny
as the weekend went along too. Sorry, going to cut you up, but as the weekend went along too, it seemed like Shrey was putting more and more liquor into those Berry Bombs, where it was less berry and more bombs.
He was. I'll tell you what though, the Sunny D is such a powerful orange flavor. It masks the liquor pretty well. So you get a little loose in the grandstands with a Berry Bomb. And I had, and just to Josh Berry's performance too. We're already jumping in. Didn't even get to ask you how your actual weekend was, but Josh Berry, it was interesting wondering what he was going to do because, of course, last year was his first full-time season in the Cup Series, but it was with a new team. It was with Stuart Haas Racing, who was shutting down at the end of the season, and everyone kind of had a feeling about midway through, or even before that, you know? And I forget exactly when they made the announcement, but it was hard to tell what he was getting used to and everything. And I got to be honest with you, the last couple of weeks, if you look at Josh Berry's performance, he's been performing pretty well on track, especially last week at Phoenix and stuff. And he's been running really well in practice and qualifying. I have my Whitey speed score that I do my Excel spreadsheet with every week to figure out my fantasy lineup. And he's been popping up in the top 10 there of guys that I'm looking to pick. And I was just afraid to. I've just been afraid to. No longer am I afraid to pick Josh Berry because, Matt, before we started the show, you were looking at what was his average running position all day long?
It was tied with the 24 and the 5 for 8th, which was the best average running position. Those three had the best average running position for the entire field. So it wasn't a fluke. Yeah, he kind of needed a caution to kind of break his way, but it's not like it was a guy who was running 17th already. Caught a yellow at the right time and the fuel strategy at the right time. He was in position all race long. He was in the top 10. Him being my guy, I'm watching him and I'm saying, hey, Josh is in the top 10. It's right there. If something happens, if he catches a good break, maybe we'll get a good top 5 out of this. Not gonna lie, until that last restart, wasn't expecting a win, and he was able to get that. So yeah, just again, so pumped, so proud. It's good for the sport when someone like that wins. I truly believe. Just his story. Again, the popular, affiliates that he has within his career, being Dale Jr., the Wood Brothers now, and just like a blue collar guy, like that guy was running Cars Tour his whole life up until a couple of years ago. Not
only that, sorry to cut you off, but I saw some sim racers talking about Josh Berry's sim racing connection, and really, he got locked in with Dale Jr. through sim racing. He met him on iRacing, and no one mentions that whole part of the whole piece. So, like, in reality, Josh Berry went from sim racer to Cup Series winner, just like William Byron,
Right, and it's awesome. He's in his, mid-30s, I believe Josh is.
I think he's 33 or so, right?
He's a year or two younger than me, so that would put him 33, 34. Josh
Berry, NASCAR.
So realistically, he's got another.
Yeah, he's 34 years old. He was born in 1990. So
he keeps doing what he's doing and he keeps getting good contracts and stuff, I mean, he could technically have another 8, 9, 10 years out of this gig where he can really make an impact on the sport. So it's, I don't want to. I'm talking big picture. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but it's one win. I get it. Let's just see what else we can do. But it was really, really encouraging to see that.
And honestly, too, like it makes all the sense because it's a Penske Ford. It is. It's a Penske car. It's set up in the Penske shops. Like, I don't understand what Harrison Burton and Matt DiBenedetto before him were doing with the equipment they were given. Because I mean, look at Austin Cindric too, though. Right now, Austin Cindric's been struggling. He's been running consistent though. But I wanted to your point. Josh Berry had like a top 10 car all day long, made the best of it, got the win, earned the win for sure, especially side drafting Suarez like he did. But to your point, Kyle Larson, who shared the same average finish, finished 9th. He led 5 times for 61 laps. Same with William Byron. He finished 4th. He led twice for 10 laps. So those guys are battling for the lead and the win all day long. And Berry was just out there waiting to strike when he could. And of course, good time caution, it helps, but,
this is wild, man. We just jumped right into the race and we're actually talking about the race winner. This is what happens. This is what happens when, you got a good guy winning a race and it's exciting and it's cool, man. It's cool to see. It was really, I mean, dude, for the first time in a few years, I was yelling at my TV screen, come on, Josh, come on, just like the Xfinity races, watching them win Xfinity races, cool. Watching guys win an Xfinity race.
It's different though, because it's Saturday, Saturday races are different though, it's like
I haven't like Chase Elliott, I was kind of a Chase Elliott fan, you know what I mean? We went through this last year. If you want to go back and listen to that episode, I kind of explained my relationship of why I became a Chase Elliott fan and how it was kind of fake the whole time because I just didn't know what to do. Yeah. Yada, 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 yada. So even when I was rooting for Chase on a Sunday afternoon and he was leading and winning, it was probably fraudulent looking back on it, but so it's been probably since Dale Jr. that I'm genuinely from the of my heart excited and yelling at my TV screen, let's go. I had Jackson, my son, he didn't know what the hell was going on, but he saw that I was all excited. I'm picking him up 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go. Come on, Josh. And he's yelling, trying to mimic me. Come on, Josh. And he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
He's like, I have no clue, but I love this guy and he loves that guy and we want him to win,
Right. So it was great. It was great. I'm thrilled. Now let's see if he can continue it.
Oh yeah, and I think he will. Again, though, early on in the season, you never know what guys have that summer slump. We see the summer slump a lot, but usually when Penske's in the playoffs, they bring those playoff cars. So
13th in points right now. So it's like he's been. Where was 5? Well, it is 5 races. I keep saying 5 races. It is. We're 5 races into the season, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd be curious to see where that 21 car was in points 5 races into the season last year.
Last place, I could tell you already. He was like the last full-time driver for real.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit more to talk about. First, a little NASCAR news. First, how was your weekend though? Your regular weekend, big St. Patrick's Day weekend. What you had the corned beef and hash going on? Was that what was going on? I'm Irish, but I don't celebrate. I wore I wore green khakis to work yesterday, and I was so mad because if I knew it was St. Patrick's Day, I wouldn't have worn them.
That's so funny. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I am very proud of my heritage. Big Irish guy. I'm only 50% Irish because I'm 50% Italian, but don't tell anyone that. So yeah, we Saturday I was putting lime down because it's nice out in northeastern Pennsylvania. We're finally getting sun. I want to get the yard green. I want to get it going and yada, yada, yada. So I'm throwing lime down and I'm just kind of feeling like I was done afterwards and I was kind of feeling like kind of sluggish. My chest felt heavy and I was like, I don't know, maybe I breathed in too much lime while I was putting it down. I don't know. And so I was laying down a little bit and fell asleep for a little bit during a nap while Jackson was napping. Kind of woke up and just groggy. And so I'm getting ready. We had a St. Patrick's Day party to go to Saturday night and I'm kind of getting ready. I'm telling Steph, I just don't like I feel like blah, right?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go. And she's like, you could stay home. I'm like, no, let's go. I want to go enjoy, you know. So woke up Sunday and just full-fledged, like just stuffy and just not feeling good and just kind of blah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've been dealing with a little bit of a cold. That's if I sound raspy or dry, it's because while I'm talking, my throat's been getting dry. I'm definitely on the back end of it now, but I've still got it. It wasn't the worst cold I've ever had, but it's just one of those that's just enough to be a pain in the ass.
You just reminded me, I can't get sick until Saturday. I really can't. I got too much stuff going on. I can't get sick until Saturday. I've been telling myself this for 2 months now, and I haven't gotten sick. Bree's been sick twice.
I've been sick 3 times.
I'm telling you, the mind works. The mind knows. I keep telling myself I can't get sick until Saturday. And then once it's like Thursday or Friday, I can't get sick until Wednesday. I got too much stuff going on this weekend. I got the podcast on Tuesday. I can't get sick until Wednesday. Now that Wednesday's coming, I got too much stuff going on. I can't get sick until Saturday. But you got to believe it.
Are you going to be at the Penguins game on Friday?
Be on the what?
Are you Are you going to be at the Penguins game on Friday?
No, I don't work for the Penguins anymore.
Okay. Didn't know that.
So I didn't get fired or anything. Unfortunately, so I was hired by a guy who worked for them. I think it was, I got paid out by like, just an expense check every month. Like I wasn't on the books or anything. So that guy would call when he needed people to fill in. And that's what me and Luke did. That guy unfortunately passed away suddenly last year. And I don't think anyone knew to reach out to me or anyone. I was like, you want to know what? I did the Penguins for almost 10 years. I'm good, you know, but yeah.
We're going to the Penguins game on Friday night. So I was just curious if you're going to be there. But anyway,
they've been good this year. They've been really good this year. Cause we went with my mom and her boyfriend last week. And it was a fucking awesome game. It was a great game.
They're gonna clinch a playoff spot here within the next couple. Better than the Big Pens. The Big Pens suck this year. That stinks. Big Pens fan, as you know, and so that stinks. Anyway, sorry, didn't want to get in the weeds there. But yeah, good weekend. St. Patrick's Day was fun yesterday. Made corned beef on Sunday. Cooked it in the crock pot with Guinness. Came out delicious. So had that Sunday night while I watched the race and enjoyed the shit out of the race. I think that goes without saying.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah. How about you, man? How was your weekend?
I had a good weekend. It was quiet. I told you off pod, but I had a rough Friday. So we watched the Bill Burr special Friday night. It was great. Awesome.
Because I love Bill Burr.
It's really good. It's also like frustrating because it's like, yeah, this is all the shit that I'm angry about and I'm going through too. And like the way Bree laughs at some of the things that I don't laugh at and the way I laugh at some of the things Bree doesn't laugh at, you know. But what should we call it? Saturday was a good day. Fired up the Blackstone for the first time this season. Tried to re-season it. I didn't get enough of the old seasoning off. I think I have to redo it because near the end of the summer, I wasn't covering it as much as I should have been. And so like some of the sides got a little rusty. I think I need to take the seasoning completely off, sand it down, and then re-season it fresh.
Yeah, my season never ended, buddy. So like, I don't know. I don't think I even have to re-season it just because I just keep using it.
Yeah,
I've been right through winter.
Yeah, you're good to go.
4 or 5 times a week I'm using that Blackstone. I use it almost every single day.
Yeah, I just don't have that covered space like you do, so I packed it up and yeah, we're getting back in the swing of things though. Made some tacos on Saturday, enjoyed an evening in, and then Sunday, great race, and we'll jump into it. I also got to see the truck race on Friday. There's no real news this week. The only news is that NASCAR is expecting to return to Canada, but there's no official word. Next year in the Xfinity Series, maybe if it goes well next year, the Cup Series will go back in 27. So, but I caught a little bit of the truck race, which you said, oh, wasn't it a rain delayed? I saw about the last half of the third stage before the rain delay. And this was at like 11:30 at night or so. I'm watching on the tablet in bed, and then I nodded off for a little bit, but I kept my earbuds in. That way, like I would get woken up once it got back to green. And it turned out to be a pretty decent race. Corey Heim won. Again, it was a weird rain out in Vegas though, because there's like a patch of sleet coming towards towards the track because the temperature dropped down into like the high 30s, low 40s out in Vegas for that race. So it was a cold one, but it was pretty good. Good battles and everything. Xfinity, I didn't see. You said you didn't see it either. Justin Allgaier, he won. And then, of course, Sunday, Josh Berry, he led twice for 18 laps and won his first Cup race. So we pretty much covered his win. But the race lasted 3 hours, 13 minutes, and 13 seconds. Spooky with all those 13s. 9 cautions for 53 laps and 32 lead changes. What's that?
It was the blood moon last week, too.
Dude, I got a story about the blood moon. I forgot. So Thursday, a tangent, but we don't have much else to talk about this episode anyways. Thursday
episode that we're just going to flow with it.
That's it. So Thursday evening, I'm like, man, what's the weather going to be like this weekend? I'm not going to be able to enjoy the weather. And I check and I see like a little news thing where it's like eclipse. I'm like, oh, let's check out what the lunar eclipse is all about. And I read the article. It's like, oh, it's going to start around like 1 a.m. It's going to be at like totality at like between 2:30 and 3:30 in the morning, right? I'm like, oh, that's cool. And it's a blood moon. I'm like, man, that's fucking really cool. Like blood full moon eclipse. And again, the power of the mind, I go, man, I wonder if I wake up around that time to go to the bathroom, I'll stay up and go out. Well, 2:15 rolls around. In the morning, I gotta go piss. Usually I pee around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was a little early. I'm like, 2:15, oh, the brain's working. I'm like, was it at 2:30 or was it at 3:30? And I was like, kind of hazier. I'm like, I don't want to look at my phone in case it's an hour from now, because then I'll just be up all night. And Friday's my long day where I go to the radio station after my regular job. So I'm like, I need to be fresh for Friday. But it wasn't. I'm like, oh, let me check. I think it's 2:30. So I'm killing 15 minutes. I go outside and I look at it. And I don't know if this lady's fucking delivering newspapers or something, but there's a woman that gets out of this pickup truck.
I see where this is going.
And she walks over to the apartment building and she's putting the mail, like something in the slot. And I'm looking at the moon, and again, it's 2:30 in the morning. I'm out of it, you know? Like, I'm just like, oh, it's around the time. Let me go check some. And she's like, be careful. This is the time the hooligans come out. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like looking around. Like, is she talking to me? Like, what the I'm like, and I can't see her face or anything. She's just like a figure in the distance. Mm-hmm. And because I'm all like fucked up, like from sleeping, I'm like, there's an eclipse. And then as she's walking back to her truck, she goes, this is the time all the hooligans are out. Better be careful. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so she's getting back in her truck. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck back in the house. I run in, I close the door, double lock it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So then the lady pulls in front of the house and gets out again. I'm like, she has to be delivering newspapers or something. But now I got an eye on her just in case, because maybe she's the hooligan I need to be worried about.
Right.
So then she goes to the person across the street, puts something in their box. So I'm like, all right. She leaves. And then I went back out and I took my little picture of the moon. Turned out like shit, but it looked awesome. Did you end up seeing it or no?
So I was excited about it, and same thing. So I was like, so Jackson's been getting up in like the middle of the night, and it's like it's sporadic what time it is, whatever. So I was like, if for whatever reason, I am up at the same time, like it was like 2:30, I was like, I'll take a look.
Yeah,
and sure as shit, it's like 2:15, 2:20. He's got us up, you know, and so trying to get him down, I'm like, oh, you know what? I always forget, like, if I can see at that time of night, if I can see the moon out of my bedroom window. So I promise I'm not going to go searching for it at like every window of the house. If I can see it out my window, I'll watch for a little bit, maybe take a picture and go back to bed.
Yeah.
So I peeked and I couldn't see it. And I was like, oh, but it's not cloudy. And all I have to do is probably go downstairs or go into the other room across the hallway. And even this room, like I could like maybe just look up and I could probably see it. And I just like was like, nah, I'm going back to bed. Yeah. And I crawled back to bed and I was like, it's not, whatever. I'll see pictures of it.
I'll be honest. Wasn't that impressive, to be honest with you. It was cool watching the shadow in the center of the moon because it kind of moves around a little bit. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. It's like you could see the Earth moving in the shadow of the moon. But other than that, it was all right. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was spooky, that lady, mostly.
Not as cool as the solar eclipse. Not solar. Yeah, solar.
Yeah, the solar eclipse, lunar. Yeah, because the moon's a lunar eclipse, and then the solar eclipse is the sun. Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Because it got like legitimately for a couple minutes like dark out in like the middle of the day.
Can I tell you, I looked straight at it without the glasses, even though I knew I shouldn't have. Yeah,
so did I. Yeah, who doesn't?
And it's like, oh my god, I can't see anything.
It's like super bright. Yeah, I did too. That was cool. Well, aren't we gonna? That happens again in like 30 years, right? Or never again.
Oh, the eclipse. I'm not sure the next time it'll be in our area where we could see it. That it happens. It happens often. It happens every couple years, but it depends where you are to see it. You know,
right? Like, that'll be like probably the closest in the path we'll ever get.
For a while, yeah. I think probably for another like decade or something. Maybe it is 30 years. I'll look it up. I'll let you know. I'll send you a text message. The moon, that shit happens every year. So like it happens all the time.
Right.
But whatchamacallit, I'll tell you what doesn't happen every time. Josh Berry winning his first cup race. The top 5 was Josh Berry, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Preece, William Byron, and Ross Chastain. And I thought it was an A race from top to bottom. Regardless of the winner, I thought it was great with those restarts were absolutely chaotic. It sucked that the race got flipped upside down a couple times during green flag pit stops with cautions. Unavoidable. That's how Ryan Preece and Daniel Suarez kind of got themselves up there in the first place. Suarez had a decent car. He led 4 times for 12 laps, but I think I gave it an A. I come in with Las Vegas with low expectations anymore because it seems to be hit or miss. I know you sent your race grades on the weekend saying like, oh, I think we're in for a good one. But I'm trying to keep my expectations low and be pleasantly surprised. What'd you think of it?
I loved it, man. I didn't. So I know Shrey. I think he gave it like I don't know how serious he was or not. Maybe he was just pumped that Barry won, but he gave it like an A plus.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was that good. And listen, who the hell am I to say who anyone's grade is this, that, and the other? I gave it a B plus.
Yeah,
I thought it was a good race. I thought it was. I mean, dude, a B plus is a solid grade for a race. I thought it was a solid race. I just didn't think it was where I try my hardest not to give a race any type of A minus, A plus race unless it's like one of those where like we'll be talking about it for years.
Yeah,
winning the race, like I won't be talking about this race in a month from now. You know what I mean? So it was just it was a solid, good 1.5 mile race. We saw some side drafting. We saw 3 wide, 4 wide, sometimes crazy restarts. We saw tires fall off. We had like literally, legitimately, like not tire wear fall off, like legitimately tires falling off vehicle. We saw Christopher Bell with the heads up
of the day.
Yeah. Move of the day. Go ahead.
Well, no, you explain if you missed it. Whatchamacallit, I think his back tire was still loose. The Jackman dropped it before it was tight, and then they radioed to Chase Briscoe's pit stall up ahead, and then they radioed, who's his teammate, to have Bell pull in, tighten that lug real quick. They got a penalty, but it was just tail end of the longest line penalty. And he started the race at the longest line because he got a penalty after qualifying and everything. So just working his way up through the race yet again. He ended up finishing, where was it, 13th? He finished 12th. So decent day for Bell. At one point when he worked his way back up in that first stage, I thought he could contend for another win there too. But it seemed like JGR just had a black cloud over them all day long. Denny had pit road issues. Bell had issues. Chase Briscoe lost a wheel, so he's going to lose a crew chief. Even though they got that penalty appealed, and he's gone anyway, so that sucks. But
19 go back last couple of years with MTJ. That 19 team. I don't know if. Jesus. Why am I doing this? Martin Truex's former crew chief, Cole Pearn. I don't know if Cole Pearn, once he left, he put like a hoax. What's up?
I was gonna say James Small, but you're yeah.
I don't know if when Cole Pearn left the team, he put like a hoax on the team or whatnot, but or if he was just that good. I don't know what it's been, but like that team has just had a black cloud over it. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And I thought maybe, hey, it's Martin Truex thing, but no, it's that 19 team, and it's carried over to this year too. Just bad luck all over the place.
Yeah, and then what you call his teammate Ty Gibbs had another rough day. Finished 22nd, but still having rough go.
That for a second, just him.
Yeah,
and like what's going on there,
dude? So I sent you that clip of Mikey doing the grid walk and busting SVG's balls, but I didn't see the interview before with Ty Gibbs. He sounded concussed as fuck in pre-race. Yeah, apparently, I think he flipped a dirt car the night before at the high limit.
They mentioned it on the broadcast.
Dude, he stumbled to get out his car and sponsor name during that interview. So I don't know. I mean, he might be concussed. Now, that doesn't explain what the hell's been going on with him for the last 10 races or so. We were talking about that. It's like, when do you call Ty Gibbs a bust? And a lot of people are starting to say it already. And that's a bad sign.
That's a bad sign. I think is this his... How long has KB been out of the 18? Is this now the third season?
This would be the third season because this is Reddick's third season at 23-11. This would technically be his fourth season in the Cup Series because he filled in half the season after Kurt Busch got hurt.
Okay, so technically this is his fourth season, and they always say like it's typically 4 or 5 seasons in was when you really start turning it on. Or 3 or 4 seasons in, I think, is when you start seeing guys take off.
Right? That math's right.
It has to be. That sounds right because he took over the 18, turned into the 54.
Yeah, so it is his fourth season. Here's the thing, though. He's still only 22 years old.
He's young. So that's the thing. That's why I'm not willing to call him a bust. But he's got to get his shit together, man. Like, dude, he's in premier equipment. That team can't be sitting where they're sitting in points right now. They can't be underperforming as much. And like, dude, we called it. We said it at the beginning of 2024 season when we did our buy, sell, hold. Was like all three of us bought the shit out of the 54, expecting him to win multiple races last year. That didn't happen.
No, he came close a couple times early on.
This year, I mean, I said at the beginning of this year, like it's got to come. Like this is the year that I feel like Ty Gibbs is going to break out. And again, only 5 races in. There's a lot that can happen between now and the end of the year, but it's just very, very concerning. And I asked you guys this off the air: is if this is what it is, if this does come to tuition, as Trey says, and he really is a bust, is he the Ryan Leaf of NASCAR as far as busts go? Is he the biggest bust in NASCAR history if he is indeed a bust? Just the way they're hyping him up, just how good he was in Xfinity.
To go from that,
I
mean, he won his first Xfinity race. Like he continued.
So good.
Yeah.
And now he's just not like, I don't know, like what? And
yeah, I don't know.
As I told you guys, like he's not going to get that boot from that car either because it's his grandpa.
No,
Austin Dillon hasn't gotten the boot from the 3 car because of his grandpa. Any other person's in that car, they've gotten that boot a year or 2 ago.
The only thing, and I didn't watch NASCAR back then, so I'm not sure if this is a great comparison or not. The only comparison I can think of is Joey Logano and his performance when he was that young too, because Joey Logano came in and very young, and they said like, oh, he's the next best thing since sliced bread, and he was in JGR equipment. I don't think he really performed that well in the 20 car, did he?
Not until he got to Penske. Did he really turn it up? Yeah.
So it could
Casey Atwood. I remember Casey Atwood getting brought up. I saw it a couple times on Twitter, and I remember Casey Atwood was a name that he was supposed to be like the next coming of Jesus Christ, and it just never.
Wasn't Casey Atwood also like in a different discipline of racing too? Like he was a big deal, or am I thinking of someone else?
Maybe. I don't know. I honestly, just full transparency, I'm not sure the whole Casey Atwood story. I just know a lot of people have been throwing his name out like he's one of the possibly biggest busts in NASCAR history.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if Ty Gibbs doesn't get his shit together and we're year 4, year 5, and he's still kind of this, where he maybe has a win, like I think you got to label him as that.
Send him back to the Xfinity series and just go beat up on some guys. Get that confidence back, maybe too. Again, we're only 5 races into this season, though. We got 31 more to go.
This episode in like July and be like, dude, remember back in March when we were like calling him a bust, and now he's got 4 wins on the season.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the nature of NASCAR too, where that shit can happen. Like how many guys catch fire?
When you're in that good of equipment, often you do turn your season around. So we'll see.
I tell you what, some other guys I thought that ran really well, where I was waiting for them to start running well. Kyle Larson, William Byron, they both led a ton of laps. Ross Chastain has started this season really strong, especially for the criticism he got last year. He finished 5th. He led 3 times for 14 laps, threw him in the fantasy lineup. I know that for sure. I finally had a decent fantasy day for once since the beginning of the season. Logano had a decent day early on. He led twice for 40 laps. He finished 15th though. Tyler Reddick had a decent day, except he finished 24th. He led 4 times for 34 laps. Bubba Wallace led 3 times for 20 laps. He was battling up there in the final stage too. Again, a lot of guys kind of got fucked on that caution, but Reddick actually he needed that caution, so I was happy.
I mean, just as far as just having competitive vehicles, maybe it's the new attitude, having a kid in the off season. Take it from me, man, that does change you. It changes your mentality essentially overnight.
Yeah.
And I think that that was for a million reasons, that was a good thing to happen to him. But I think up here, I think that's really having a positive influence on his racing too. Yeah. He's been very vocal about like, hey, about that too. But hey, I had a kid this offseason, puts things into perspective. I've worked on my mental health, and I think it's starting to show on the racetrack, man. He's another one. I expect him to get a few wins this year. I really do. I expect him to be, I don't know if I expect him to be contending for a championship at the end of the year, but I expect him to be in contention for like a round of 8.
I was going to say, I think just round of 12 would be a great improvement. Last year, he didn't make the playoffs. The year before, he made the round of 12, right? Or did he make the round of 8 the year before?
In the past. I don't think he made it last year. No, he didn't make it last year.
No, the year before, I think he finished in the round of 12, and I think he finished 10th in points, but I don't know. Either way, I agree. I hope he starts doing well and rouse off a win or two. There's a lot of guys. I feel like we're at the point in this car where the last couple seasons, it's just been new winner after new winner after new winner. And I think this is finally the season where we don't see that, where we see the cream really rise to the top. And,
12, I think we get like 12, 13 winners, and we get like 3 dudes coming in on points this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4, 5 dudes coming in on points this year, where it's just an all out battle.
I would like
what happens, to be honest with you, where we just have like 8 or 9 cars battling for like 4 point spots.
I would love that too. I think just off the top of my head, like really it just clicked. I think maybe that's why we've been hating the playoffs so much the last couple years, because there's like 1 or 2 spots and there's always some guys that didn't deserve to be in there because they got fluke wins. And if we could just get back to like you said, having like 10 to 13 solid winners, and then like you get 3 guys point their way in, but it's a battle for 6 guys fighting, like.
Right. Because last year, what was it? It was Buescher, it was Bubba, it was like Chastain, I think it was. It was like only like 3 or 4 guys for like a spot, which I mean
Briscoe, but then Briscoe clinched like one of the last races at Darlington before getting in.
Gibbs was in that battle. Martin Truex was in that battle.
And then Harrison Burton stole a spot at Daytona. There was great battles, and then 2 guys just kind of fluked their way in, Yeah. So, but I don't know. Anything else from the race that you could think of?
No, man. I really enjoyed it. And we're going to a 1.5 miles this week at Homestead that historically has been even better. So I just think it's been a really, really good start to the season as far as race grades and competitive racing. And, yeah, I'm excited to see where this season takes us.
I tell you what, I know last season took a toll on all of us, and the off season didn't feel like much of an off season. But you're right. We've been seeing great racing, and I'm back. I think.
Oh, I'm back too, and I'm not focusing on the off track shit, whatever that might be. I think it's like, and I'm dialed into the race on Sundays. I watch it, I consume it, and then I'm right back out. And it's just like it's kept it a little fresh for me.
I think that's helped too, because like I miss bullshitting with you guys in text message over all of this, but I feel like it helps to look forward to the race when we're not talking NASCAR every day, all day long.
We really have backed off a lot. Like, we still pass along information throughout the week if there's something funny,
like
or
Twitter
whatever
and stuff.
There's something important, but like for the most part, like we really have backed off a lot, and it's not because we don't all. I mean, we're in other group messages, non-NASCAR group chats where we talk all day, every day anyway. So we still get enough of each other. It's just the NASCAR. Like, I think we've all of us have kind of like just let our foot off the pedal a little bit, and I think that is a little refreshing too.
I think it's healthy, and I feel
us over the past 4 years where it's like,
you start
dial it back a little bit.
You start hating it because you let it consume you so much, you know. But I feel like I've been sending more memes on Twitter, like NASCAR memes, than anything. But Cody Ware, he's back full time, and he came in last this week. He was one of the causes of the late race caution there. What's that?
His rightful place. Didn't we like talk about like giving this segment like the Cody Ware Memorial Last Place Award?
The Cody Ware Award.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm still convinced that they wreck a car on purpose to get the sponsor on TV, and somehow it works out in the wash on the budget sheet, you know? Right. Yeah. But let's see. You want to jump into the picks then? We're heading to Homestead. Shrey picked Kyle Busch. He had the roughest day. He got himself 4 points though. I did like to see that they got it back out on track. He made up some spots, and he ended up finishing 33rd. I don't even know how many laps, like 30 laps down. But I saw a video of a kid in the stands in Las Vegas, and when Kyle Busch came back out and he was running even 30 laps down, this kid was just so excited to see his driver back on track. And it made me excited for that kid. It made me glad they changed the rule.
That's what it's all about, dude. Yeah, because at least you get to, especially kids who don't probably really care about the competitive aspect of it yet. I know I didn't when I was that young, right? It was just more or less, hey, that car looks cool, or hey, that's the guy my dad roots for, so I'm going to root for him.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I just want to see him on the track. That's, so that was cool.
Yeah. And whatchamacallit, unfortunately for Robbie Shrey, though, he only got him 4 points. So Shrey picks first. I picked Joey Logano. He got me 26 points. You picked Kyle Larson. Oh, sorry. Eric picked Ross Chastain. He got him 40 points. And then you picked Kyle Larson, who got you 44 points. So you won the weekend, but you did not win overall yet. You're in second place right now in points.
I'm closing it.
You are.
I'm the defending champion.
You are the defending champion.
Yeah, this is my first race win of the year too. I think this is the first one, maybe the second.
No, it was the first time. Yeah, because at Atlanta you came in 1 point behind Shrey, who won, which
it's my first race win. I'm the defending champ. Like, let's go. I'm back, baby.
All right, you're ready for the playoffs. So Robbie Shrey, he's picking Tyler Reddick at Homestead. Obvious choice there. Second obvious choice for me, because I'm going second, I have to pick Kyle Larson. Eric is picking William Byron. So 200 guys off. Who are you going with for Homestead?
So it's easy for me. There has been 4 races at Homestead under the new car.
Yeah.
And there have been 4 different winners. 3 of which you just mentioned. The 4th is the guy I'm going with, who ironically is going for his fourth win
of the season. Oh,
I am going with Christopher Bell.
I almost wore the Seabell Homestead win t-shirt because I have it in the closet there. But I knew I was picking Larson. I felt weird about it, but I'm glad you picked the Bell. I think it's a great pick. We will find out. We're 5 races into the 2025 season. Byron, Bell, and Barry all locked themselves into the playoffs, and I love a good alliteration. We got Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup on track this weekend, and who will it be? Will it be one of the previous 4 winners at Homestead in the next gen car, or will it be someone completely different? We will find out this Sunday. Will it be Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Kyle Larson, or Christopher Bell? We will find out this weekend, 3 p.m. on FS1 for the Straight Talk Wireless 400, and we'll break it all down for you right here on the Bummer Run Podcast next Tuesday night. For Matt the Statman Reilly, for Eric Daytona Ron, for, I said Daytoven, I think. For Robbie Shredder Shrey, I'm Michael D. White saying have a good night.